So, what is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Sam from Team Zamrex20 here, and today, who am I with?
Triv,
how are you doing today, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm finally unbanned and ready to take over the Yu-Gi-Oh world.
All right, bro. So, what are you playing this format, Triv?
Yeah, so obviously, Sky Circuit, a Pendulum, obviously. But I had a lot of thought about this, so I actually recently got unbanned, went to PPG, went to Regional in Columbus, and I tested a bunch of different builds. And I just had this idea, like, I don't care what I need to do. I don't care if I have to spend every day that I'm awake just to make the greatest Pendulum deck ever. I learned what worked and what didn't work.
Right.
I spent the next 36 hours building this. I learned what didn't work. I learned what destroyed the deck. Like Nibiru and Super Poly is running everywhere. Everyone is maining those cards.
Right.
And you need ways to consistently out them. And Pure Pen Magician is not the answer. Pure Endemia is not the answer. This beautiful concoction of Yu-Gi-Oh cards is the answer.
So you say that this is the best Pendulum deck profile ever
like,
on YouTube?
It's not even close. Like, I really wish I had this built before, but again, you don't know Agar Pain's gonna get banned. Right. I didn't even know I was gonna get unbanned. So I had like one day to prepare for the weekend. So I just threw some stuff together to see what worked. It didn't work. The next day, it didn't work. And I played the new list in Columbus Regional to hope it worked. It didn't work. I just learned, and this is absolute perfection, and I absolutely love it.
So this one plays around the bureau like crazy?
Plays around the bureau like it's nothing. It plays around Super Poly like it's nothing. It plays around Impermanence and Ash like it's nothing, because those are the hand traps that people play. And it just, assuming the entire meta, has almost no search spells to destroy Thunder Dragons, destroy Orcus and Salamangreat boards like nothing, and literally just prepared to obliterate the meta. And that's the only reason I played it. Like, it's absolutely insane. Before we do actually waste your time a little bit, go subscribe to Triv Gaming.
Okay, yes. Link will be in the description box below.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, Triv. Let's
do
it.
First things first, free Servant. Everyone in any deck, you gotta play it. The one thing that not many people play and don't realize the power of it, and like I said, this deck is built to destroy meta and unbrick Reflection. This card is better than Magister, which you do play one of. It's a starter. You need to, if you open one of these 5 along with your 3 masteries, which are the only spell searches you play, you literally destroy anything. You can play through anything. If you draw this, sometimes I mastery for Reflection instead of the Servant going second, because for those who don't know what this does, think of the meta. So you think of Colossus, Titan, Orcus, Girsu, Galatea, Sunlight Wolf as their only link, right? The decks. You basically summon a Reflection with a Jackal, or an Endymion, or a Cerberus, and you end up bouncing a card that your opponent controls, which is one of their interruptions. Right. And then when they're going to attempt to negate it, Jackal will just negate the interruption, or Endymion will negate the rage. And it really clears 2 cards, 2 interruptions just from resolving 1 card, and it still ends up being 1 card on the field. And what are they going to do? Set, like, crescendo this? I don't care, thank you. Then you just destroy them. This is just a small engine of it, and it's a great starter going first. And I would love to play 3, just the deck is so tight, there's no space. And Magister, I'd play more of it. It is basically a pure Endymion list, but the issue with Magister is not a starter, so it's only good in conjunction with these, so I believe this, I know this is the correct ratio. And I would love to play 3 Reflections, there's just no space. 2 Endymion, 2 Jackal, 2 Cerberus. Okay, so like I said, the deck, you need to play the deck with going second as well. So drawing Cerberus or Reflection going second literally clears the entire board. The entire meta, like the one main interruption they have. These are vital for that. And in this deck, if Cerberus gets Ash, it doesn't matter. I know Pure Endymion plays 3 Jackal or 3 Endymion, but that's just irrelevant because of the combo I'm about to show at the end. You don't need too many of these. Right. You actually end up on Sloth and Monster Zone, Sloth and Scale. So they can't add, they can't special summon anything, they can't Super Poly you. You Turbo Jackal, so they can't Nibiru you. And you end on an Appaloosa with 2 to 3 of these Endymions and Jackals as well on top of that. So they actually can't play. And after siding, you put in Leckery instead, Amorphous Leckery, so they can't even Dark Ruler you. It's actually absolutely insane. And it just never bricks, ever.
Alright.
Next, because the guard dragons with the Agar Pain hurt a lot, so you gotta basically play a different version of Agar Pain. Instead of getting a negate, you rely on Sloth. But in order to bring up the Sloth, you have to rely on the guard dragon packages, which is these. This Cerudo's still insane going second, so you do need to play this ratio. And if Electrum draw ends up getting you the Foolish or Shrine, you still have a guard dragon play. And this Cerudo's insane going second. Next, 2 Sloth. I know a lot of people would think it would brick, but it's actually 1,000,000 times better than Tempest Dragon. But if you check out my channel, I have a combo where you have the exact same Agar Pain combo, no problem, as if it wasn't banned. But it requires you to play Dragon Ravine and Tempest Dragon, like the E-Dragon. But if anything get banished off Desire, you just can't do anything. You just literally lose. Right. So what this does is they're pendulums that you put on the scale. And even if you banish one of them, it doesn't matter. And they don't brick because you just put them in the scale. It's a scale. Right. Tempest is not a scale. Right. And the combo ends on this in scale and this in Monster Zone. So they can't add. So you have a Colossus and extra deck and a special. So you can't do the special from the extra deck. But if you look at the whole meta, Sloth obliterates this meta. The reason why people don't play this before is because Sky Strikers destroy it. But now when you look at the meta, what is Salamangreat doing versus Sloth? What is an Orcus deck doing versus Sloth? What's a Thunder deck doing versus Sloth? Literally nothing.
Right, exactly.
The only deck that plays through it somewhat is the best deck in the world, which is Pendulum. Which, don't worry, people are fried, so they won't even play it anyways. So you're good. And you end up putting in a Leckery as well to make sure they can Dark Ruler you after. One Time Gazer, those are 20 monsters.
Time Gazer.
And now these are monster/spell/turbo cards. So these are absolutely insane without Magicians, especially because they are not just a monster, a Pendulum card. They're not just a turbo card. They're also a spell card. So when you resolve this with the main part of the deck, which is these 6, and also going second, you want more spells to ensure you going second. You Endymion. The whole game plan is Endymion them for 6. But these now serve as spells, and you just need to draw 2 spells to resolve any of these. And if you resolve any of these with 2 spells, you literally just win. Your opponent cannot do anything because you have the Jackal to protect your plays. And if you have the Jackal to protect your plays, you just win. And this whole format, they play everyone's a sheep. They play the same amount of hand trap ratio. So if you look at any of the top 16 decks, it's 3 Ash, 3 Imperm, 3 Phantasme, 3 Nibiru.
And then also DD Crows, right?
And some play DD Crow, but it's a joke against Pendulum. But again, those it's mainly Ash, Imperm, Nibiru, and Phantasme. If we look at those, only real hand traps are Ash and Impermanence, which Electrum resolves. The only card that Electrum has to play through is Imperm. It's absolutely insane how easy it is.
Right.
You're in the Jackal and Demon Electrum, you're in the full combo. So doing the best board for Pendulum is insane in this format, which is why Pendulum is just the best deck in this format. I know I said this a lot before, but
it's
the
true.
Yu-Gi-Oh gods help me out here. The day of my unban make Pendulum the best deck in the format. But it took a long time to get this, man, because the first decks I had was bad.
Right.
They were bad. I lost so much decks because the deck list was just bad. But I learned from those mistakes, and that you can't have an incredible product without having some failures before to know what was wrong with it. Exactly. So after all my failures with the deck this past weekend and testing for 36 hours in a row, basically, I now have what I believe, or what I know, just an insane deck. 3 Mastery, this is the only spell card that searches. So because Thunder Dragon is a deck, you don't want to play Pendulum Call because it just loses to Thunder Dragon. But just have 3 search spells. Like Dark Orb getting gate 0 is not a search spell, it's a scale. It doesn't matter, you don't need to search. And Cerberus is also a search monster, but you don't need that because Cerberus is a way that you play through Colossus by summoning it through reflection. So it doesn't matter, it's just a scale as well. So it just destroys that deck. 1 Cooler, 2 Shrine. If you don't play this, taking out the Suitor was an option. If that was the case, I'll take out an extra Shrine. But it's insane because you can do so much with it. And now the draw power. You need to see as many spells as possible in this deck. People don't put Into the Void and Endymion, and I really just don't understand why. It's absolutely insane. You just need as many spells as possible. And you have 20 spells in total. So if you draw 2 of the 20 spells, you resolve any of the Endymion cards, and you only need to see 2 of the 20. You don't want to see like 5 spells. 2, 3, or 4, or even 5, whatever, it's fine. But you need to see 2 spells. With 20 spells, you're insured to see 2, 3, or 4. That's the main deck, and it's undefeated right now. It's absolutely insane, and I can't wait to take this all at once and win. Now the extra deck, Electrum, B-Cop. You need B-Cop for later after. Seal, you don't actually go into Seal a lot, but I'll show you a combo then which allows you to go into Seal on top of the full combo. So I'll take these. Now, the combo is really, you go Electrum first, LP, obviously Guard Dragon plays with the Endymion, and Jackal is random Pendulum monsters here. And now the new Guard Dragon combo, you'll, depending on the field, go into one of these, okay? So depending on what you have, there are 5 extra deck monsters here. Sometimes you could end on an Avram. The whole point is to protect the Sloth with your life. So sometimes Boral Sword is the best to ensure that they can attack it. Sometimes Avermax, you could do it easily as well to ensure they have to do that. Appaloosa, sometimes you can put on top of it. Yuzha sometimes, and a Triple Burst. So it all depends on the situation. All 5 are required. Avermax you can take out if you want, but a lot of times Sloth with protection just auto win. I'll show the combo at the very end just so you guys see the full extra deck.
Right.
One Borreload because literally against Thunder Dragon, sometimes you just go Borreload and you win just for 1 card alone. Thunder Dragon's literally the buy. In fact, Orcus is also the buy. In fact, Salamangreat is also the buy too. If you build a deck properly, just to destroy those 3 decks, you're totally good. And you're going to be facing other garbage decks, but it doesn't matter. Next, you have so much space for the extra deck to go second, so you play all 3 Nightmares. I could play anything I want in the extra deck. There's so much space. So you want to make sure you have all the utility going second. The deck is literally made to go second, while you just save a few spots for the main deck, in the main deck for the main combo. Next, Dragster and Quantum Dragon. So Quantum Dragon and Sloth is basically an FTK. They literally can't do anything. So a lot of times you end on Quantum. There's also why you play this Pseudo. So you end on Quantum Dragon, the most typical combo in the deck, through any typical pendulum hand, and doesn't matter what they have because they play a typical hand trap lineup. You're negating Nibiru or hand traps with the Jackal, and Impermanence is literally nothing. It's a joke. So the most typical combo would be Appaloosa, Quantum Dragon, Sloth. Let's get this Sloth over here. 1 to 2 to 3 Endymion Jackal. 1 sec, let's get this. And it's not a boost, I'll show you guys that any hand could do it. You just have to be smart. The Quantum Dragon's a little more tougher to make, but if you didn't use your normal summon, you could do it. Or if you draw Destrudo by itself, or 2 of Destrudo, Foolish, or Trine, or Dark Worm, you could do it. Endymion, Jackal, Sloth, with Sloth and Scale, the second Sloth.
So this is usually like your end board?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
How do you do this, bro?
Yeah, so I'll show at the very end. It's actually super, super simple. So Jackal and Endymion, this, and then sometimes the Quantum Dragon, if you can only do it if you have access to too much Foolish or Shrines or whatever. And if sometimes if you don't have that, you have Sloth and Scale instead. Sometimes you have an extra Endymion or an extra Jackal. There's lots of variants in the combo, depending on what you open or what hand traps your opponent has. So it's not just a set combo, which is beautiful about it. Sometimes if you can't Appaloosa, you have Sayusha because you want to draw. And then Sayusha will end up actually special summoning. Well, you'll go into Quantum Dragon, and then you LP or special the Sloth after. So there's a lot of variants in the combo, which results in a lot of different stuff. And yeah, I'll do the side deck first quickly, and then I'll do how to do the combo. It's super sick, like it's insane. Going first is the auto win, and in fact, all the games that I lose aren't going second, because going second, the deck is inherently amazing because all the meta, if you look at it, only put up 2 to 3 interruptions, which against Pendulums is literally baby food. That's it. You could OTK through 3 or 4 interruptions, let alone 2 or 3. So going first is when I lost a lot because of Super Poly Dark Ruler, etc. But this deck stops it, especially the side deck. So I'll do the combo quickly. I'll do the side deck, which is very important. This I didn't have, and sorry for Sam for not getting it, but this is a Morphage Leckery. So what it does is just a scale 5 of Morphage, which you end up using Electrum to add it to your hand, scale it, and the effects as your opponent can activate spells if you control a Sloth, or if you control a Morphage. So since LP specials out the Morphage, and when you have after siding, you'll have that, and then you also have a seal over here. So that's why the seal's in the extra deck, because after siding, you want to make sure that they can never activate spells. So now even if they sphere mode you, they're only out of sphere mode, but no one plays that card. So now if they sphere mode you seal still brings out a Sloth, so then they still can activate spells and they still can special summon.
Right.
So it's insane versus literally every single thing, but I'll show that. That's why you must play Leckery. Next, literally auto wins versus Thunder Dragon, but you don't even need to decide anything. The deck's just insane. Versus Orcus, you want to have enough stuff, so you play system down to auto win against that deck. They literally don't do anything once you bait up Crescendo, because it's not like Mermaid. Without Mermaid, they lose to one system down. And then for backward decks, you have these. Just auto win, and all these hit the entire meta. You can side 5 to 6 against them all, and Dweller, because sometimes you don't even got to think versus Orcus, you just summon this and win.
Exactly.
So that's the side deck, and I'll show you guys the combo now, which auto wins.
Let's go. Shuffle your hand.
Yo,
so you said any hand?
Literally any hand. Literally 10 hands in a row.
10 hands in a row.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Good luck.
Let's do it. Reflection.
So are we going for a second?
First or second doesn't matter. So this hand doesn't even have Servant, and you'll still resolve the combo regardless. Oh, yeah, so if you go just an example, this hand's actually bad.
Really?
Yeah. Like the auto win card is Servant. Every hand looks like this, but the only there's no bad cards in fact, I wish I had a Jackal and Endymion in the hand or a Servant, but you're missing the best cards in your hand. Like the best cards are literally in your deck. These are the worst cards because they don't plus much. So I know it seems crazy, but how good the hand looks. But that's the beauty when you play Endymion Turbo Pendulum. Pendulum Magician can't do this. Anyways, before we just show this, just if we're going second, okay, gate 0, but it doesn't matter. This going second, as long as you draw into Jackal with one of these or Endymion with Reflection, it's sick. Anyway, so first, obviously, you want to do this. You want to Foolish to get the Dark Worms out of your deck. And because you don't play Dragon Caller, you want to make sure that you always have the Guard Dragons out ASAP. So a lot of people draw first and do some mistakes like that, but you want to make sure Dark Worm's out of the deck. Because sometimes you will not be able to resolve a Dark Worm. If that makes sense.
Right.
Now you have 1 counter on the Servant.
Okay, so you dump Dark Worm, special Dark Worm, right?
Yes.
So just the graveyard is your hand.
So now we special Dark Worm. Now we're gonna activate a lure. Doesn't matter what we draw here, but it would definitely help to draw any card to summon off Reflection. Not that it matters. Into the Void, Time Gazer. So as you see, the hand's actually bad. We have no Servant, we have no Jackal, no powerful cards, but it doesn't matter, you still do it. Into the Void.
Wait, you get the banish one, right?
Oh yeah, sorry, banish. Time Gazer.
100%?
Yeah, it's all the same thing. It doesn't matter what we banish. Activate Upstart. So this is literally a horrible hand. You have no access to nothing, but you're still gonna resolve it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay,
so you normal Curtain Raiser or save Dark Worm just in case they have a hand trap. You want to ensure you have a Dark Worm in hand to still Guard Dragon combo. And the beauty of this whole meta, you guys could even think about it right now. One Sloth's an auto win, but this is still gonna put a Sloth with infinite protection. Now you're gonna use Electrum Effect. Now you're gonna send Jackal. You want protection versus Nibiru no matter what. If Nibiru wasn't a card, I would send Endymion, but it doesn't matter. This is just ensuring you save yourself through through Nibiru
and Super Poly.
and Super Poly. So that's like the main thing. Nibiru and Super Poly is the main thing. And if they imperm you here, it doesn't matter. So you don't need Jackal. Jackal just there is like just in case it's Nibiru. So now you're going to activate. This has 3 counters. We're going to cut because we're going to draw. Or it has 4, something like that. What we're going to do is we're going to put card we don't care about. So we're going to put the Dark Worm in scale. We're going to use Electrum to pop it. We're going to add the Jackal just in case. We could use Reflection first to summon it. So we're going to draw 1. So it's Cerberus. As you see, drawing Cerberus, every card we drew so far off all our draw cards are literally useless. Electrum draw useless, but we're still going to do the combo, even though all this is actually bad to have so far. So what we're going to do now, we're going to activate Reflection Effect, summon the Jackal. We're going to put the Reflection over here, and summon the Jackal over here.
So there's no special the monster from the hand, right?
Yeah, so this special summons the monster from the hand. You just want that to ensure that you're safe through all hand traps no matter what. Now we're going to activate Cerberus in the scale.
Right.
Activate Cerberus Effect.
Because your hand still, right?
Yes, so we have Curtain Razor and Gazer in hand. Get Jackal to hand. At this point, if they Phantasm you at any time, this is why this combo is so amazing. You bounce it back, and now they won't have something else to help you push through the Sloth. But if they have a Phantasm, you go Saryuja, and the Sloth will have 2,500 attacks, so the Phantasm is useless.
Right.
So there's a lot of big brain thinking along here. You can save the Jackal in hand, put your scales down, summon anything you want, doesn't matter. Summon the Jackal. They each have counters. This is 5 counters, 1 counter, 1 counter. But you just want to make sure Jackal's there for the pen summon to make sure Nibiru is useless. And now you can do a few stuff depending on what you want. I actually might want the Saryuja here because you don't need a big Endymion. But if you get Saryuja, it's just so much better. You have 6 Endymions left on the deck, so you're going to draw it after all this draw. I want going through your whole deck. But now you're going to go into LP. And over here, there are actually, let's count. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do lots of stuff here. I think we could Appaloosa for 4 and go LP and then Sloth. But I do think Saryuja might be optimal. But then Saryuja might, if you don't draw an Endymion or one of those, it might not be that good. So just the more safer play here would be Appaloosa with these. You got to think of the meta, okay? So the meta doesn't have a Widow Anchor, Engage. It's a new meta. The reason why I learned this at the weekend, when you're playing against a bunch of pro players, 8 rounds one day, 8 rounds the next day, you learn that Endymion is not good this format, Mighty Master, because all the decks only have monster negates that's required. The only spell negates you're negating is basically like a search card to get a monster. So those cards are irrelevant. If you're playing some garbage deck, like, I don't know, Subterror, then you go Saryuja and get your Endymion. But if you know you're playing a meta deck, which is the only deck you should be scared of, then don't even worry about getting the Endymion, because this is just more protection on its own. And if you were scared about that, you could have always done it in a way where Gate 0 was Pendulum Summon instead, and you could have got Absolute and Vortex if you want. But I don't even play those. That's how garbage that is. Anyways, so we're going to use these 4 to go into Appaloosa for 3 counters. And then we're going to go into Sloth. Go LP. And just so you guys see if we want Saryuja. Okay, we did draw cards. Okay, so it was a good play that we didn't go into Saryuja. Yeah. But this is just more safe. You should always go to safe play. And now when you go with this, these have infinite counters. Tell me what deck on the planet beats this. No one's saving an Imperm. They're scared of what you have. You have no Endymion. They're using the Imperm infinitely on Electrum or the LP. And even if they don't, you have 5 negates. And this is just a straight up auto win. And this is actually a very bad hand because you had 0 good cards. You had 0 Servant, 0 Jackal, none of those cards that even did anything. So this, like, with a bad hand, you have this, and it's straight up an auto win. Give me one deck that could beat this. And I know a lot of smartasses are going to say evenly matched, but literally no one is playing that. You have to build a deck revolving around the meta. You can't build a deck revolving around
just one
bad
card.
Cards.
Exactly.
No, not even that bad, like one card. You got to build it around what's going to be played against you.
Exactly.
So if everyone is playing that card, then I'm sending Endymion instead of Jackal, which I sent with Electrum. So you have to think of what are you facing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, this is actually pretty tough to beat.
It's not tough, it's impossible.
They can't even Super Poly it.
Yeah, that's why. So because of this, the only cards you have to be scared of is Nibiru and Super Poly, Ash and Permanence and Phantasme. Those are the only cards that people play that aren't a part of the actual engine, if that makes sense.
Bro, and I'm pretty sure like no one mains Dark Ruler no more. Like
no one mains Dark Ruler, and that's why after siding, the play is
to be a little bit different.
Is Leckery. So that's the card I talked about. So after siding, it's completely totally different. after siding, you have a Morphage Lechery instead. So instead of the Curtain Raiser, it's a Morphage Lechery. So a Morphage Lechery would then ensure your opponent can activate spell cards. And you don't need to main it because no one mains Dark Ruler. Literally no one. Because what's Dark Ruler doing against any of the top decks? Nothing. So no one mains that card. So now this is just straight up an auto win. And like I said, it's a bad hand, and we could do this 1,000 times, and I'll draw the same thing.
All right, awesome. Steven, thank you so much for this awesome deck profile. I swear you just hit 20,000.
Yeah, man. 20K subs.
20K subs, guys.
100K soon, baby.
100K. Let's get Trip to 25,000 next. Like, how would you describe Pendulum's format? One word.
Godly.
Let's go.